to a good start tonight, obviously, but put things in perspective. We're blessed to be here, do what we do, and can't wait to get started tonight.
Coach, I'd like to start with Graves Vasquez and his honor of being named a Player of the Week. I know those words, in the grand scheme of things, don't mean a whole lot, but for a young player like him, I'm sure it made him feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. I talked to him yesterday about it. Try to treat it like a win. You know, you enjoy it for a few hours and then you got to move on, especially with an individual or during the season. It's one of those things that we're happy about, proud of him, and at the same time, we've got to keep it moving.
The numbers were good. That gets him the award. If you look back on those last three from a head coach's standpoint, what were some of the things that stuck out to you?
Well, obviously, when you win games, you can point out a lot of stuff that makes you feel good about an individual. I like the way that he stuck with what we were doing. We had some games where we had to come back, and he was a big part of that. He's always had that mindset that you can't give in. Sometimes it gets him in trouble, but it's the same thing that you love about him. His assist-to-turnover ratio is usually pretty good. We had one game where he had 6 turnovers. He wants to keep that down. We want him to keep it down. If he can give us the kind of balance he's been giving us and play off of the other guys, he's just going to get better.
Coach, we've seen the one game now where you've had Eric Gordon back, Jason Smith back, in other words, the full complement of players. We've seen the game. What about the practices and even like a walkthrough this morning? Can you share with us what that dynamic has been like as far as working with the whole group all together?
It's just like any other practice. It's nothing different. We just try to get everybody acclimated to doing things in a different scheme now because we do have everybody back. So Jason gives us a dynamic at the big spot that we didn't have, a shooting big who plays with energy. Eric can play the 1, 2, or 3, and now guys are trying to find their spot. Where do I fit in? Does this mess with my minutes? And it's like, yes. So just figure it out. And there's too many dynamics to talk about in one radio session, but it's part of what we thought we'd have this summer. And now we're trying to get back to that. It still takes you a few games to get to normal, but we're moving in that direction.
Will your rotation tonight look similar to the way it did in Charlotte the other night as far as guys that will start and who's off the bench?
Yeah, I think so. The situation in the game may dictate that, but we try to keep it as consistent as we can. But if you're down by 21 points, all bets are off. You're just trying to do the things you need to do to win the game. So we may have a small lineup, we may have a big lineup. The game will dictate that.
Does a team like Atlanta capitalize on another team's mistakes more so than maybe some of the other teams that you've seen on the schedule here lately?
I think all the good teams do that. They're a good team, third in the East. If you turn the ball over, they're going to whack you. And they're 4 in steals, and they convert. I think a big part of that is they have bigs who can push the ball and handle and pass. So the guards can get out and run, and that's where Corver and Lou will get out and knock down threes. A young kid, Jenkins, can shoot the ball with the best of them. So that's one way they convert and make you pay.
Coach, thanks. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, bro.
How much are you going to increase Eric's minutes tonight, if any?
We're not sure. Probably not much at all. You want to. You always got to take these balls this way. You always, there's a part of me that just wants to play him. But just looking back on it, I think I made a mistake doing that last year. When he came back in the Philly game, he hurt his knee in Phoenix, and then we played the Philly game. Just looking at my notes and mental notes that I have, I played him too much, and so I don't want to repeat that. But at the time, we didn't know he had an injury. But I knew he was sore, but I didn't know it was that bad. So we just want to be smart. At the same time, your competitive dog comes out and you want to win. But my responsibility to the team and the organization trumps all of that in this situation because we want to make sure he's right.
But he's still going to come off the bench tonight?
Yeah, he'll come off tonight. And we'll reevaluate after tonight's game.
Any thoughts on the back-to-back and what you might do tomorrow night with him? Or?
No, nothing right now.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.